What's going on, yo? Question. Honestly, same question I have all the time, basically. When did you sign the contract from to transfer from being to becoming human? Because you had to become human, right? Because we are beings. So when does that transfer? Well, we have this whole structure where we talk about, God is the head, and then everything else we list below. So God is the head and God is the one that created everything. So everybody have rights as God. So when do you fall under the right of the state under a corporation that writes policies for you to abide by, that you must, right? And I ain't talking about the crazy stuff. I'm talking about the simple things just to be, just to be. When does that happen? At 18, at birth, what it is? Because some people are confused. Clearly, we hearing about the mountain men now. We hearing about free men, all this set of shit, right? And comes to ask, what is really free? When you can't offer your services to your own neighbors, basically, your own being stopped by policy. All comes back to words. I don't tell you all that already. Language is everything. The good thing about that, when it comes to what we are, there's no language in nature. Nature knows, so you can't teach it anything. This is why we always say nobody is sick. You're sick because you could be taught. You're sick because you choose to be taught. And with those teachings, you think you get ahead, but you actually fall back. You stay stuck in place because what? The teachings, you are taught words and meanings, and you're trying to make sense of it all. But the language is just energy. It is what we are. It has to make us feel something. You see, the feeling is what generates the belief. So once the belief comes, because you're playing with words now, once the belief comes, you start living by it. So you start becoming who you are today. I'm just saying, what about what we are? You see, it's the words that have everything corrupt, the language. Look at it for what it is, man. We ain't got to be living the way we do. And what I mean by that is with all the foolishness, the corruption, and all this type of stuff. But anyway, that's the question for today. That's the question for today. When did you opt out of your right of being to become? Where did you sign to partake of becoming? Because everything is contract. When you're dealing with the program, everything is a contract. So where did you sign that contract? And if you don't know where you signed that contract, then that contract, it should be null and void. That's like fraud, right? Having you signing something, coercion, all the words you could call without knowing. Yo, the power of teaching. It's a good thing, eh? It's cool because you know what? It's hidden in plain sight. That's the best place to hide something, in the darkness. No one will go to find it. No one will go to look for it. Because everything you are taught about it is bad. Everything is evil. Everything is wicked. So everything that is dark is associated with that, and that energy is therefore what? Has to go to somewhere. Has to go to the body. So now you have black people who fall under that same darkness, energetically, hating what we are and destroying what we are because of literally words. Who say this? Who say that? Language. That's some crazy. That's some serious manipulation right there. That's some serious manipulation for real. You know, it's just interesting. Like I had an experience yesterday, and I have no problem with men being free, right? Because this is what we are is energy. We are beings, and we only need to be the energy that we are. But due to the stories that we are told, that generated the belief that we have today, that we hate or love or need to destroy one another, for some reason, which goes back to what numbers, right? Money. It's very interesting, to say the least. I mean, you could use whatever word you want. They don't really mean anything. It all comes back down to what you feel, and when you feel it, you know it. This is why man wants to keep you thinking, because when you're thinking, you're just generating a belief. You don't feel anything. You're trying to generate feeling. This is why we seek so much, let's call it different pleasures, right? To generate a feeling. That's what you're doing. You're generating a feeling. And if you have to generate a feeling, that means you don't know what you feel. Because at any given point in time, you know what you feel. And when you feel it, it's all about action. Nature don't be talking to nobody. Nature don't be conversating with each other. They know, so they take action. That's it. But here we at a place where we have an alphabet with 26 letters. 2 and 6 is 8, so it represents the woman. Now, it could create any word. So at any given point in time, the language that you know now could change. All your beliefs could change with words, because words could show up at any given point in time. And it's an energy, it's designed to make you feel. So you think you may not believe in it. It's like, put it like this. It's like that song that comes on, you're like, what type of shit is this? By the end of the week, you singing that shit. Because you hear it so many times. It's designed to make you feel. It's not designed for words and meanings. We just fucking playing with words right now. That's why we say you're not sick. Sickness is not a thing. It's spelled with 8 letters, yes, but nah, we look at the energy for what it is. It represents the woman. And due to the fact that sickness is not a thing, then we just looking at the energy of the woman. That's it. How could you be sick when you know what you are? You can't. You could only be sick when you believe, right? Because you believe in that what someone is telling you, what someone is communicating to you, is what it is a symptom, some shit like that. The body's always taking action. That's why the body's always doing the right thing. We don't go against the body. Who does? Why? You go against nature, you will lose every time. Sooner or later, it all comes to an end. And that's the good thing about it. Due to the fact that time doesn't exist in nature, the only time is now. This is why the end and the beginning is the same time, because same point in time, you can't have a start without an ending, and you can't have an ending without a beginning. So I'm just saying, man, observation is key. We'll get into some more. But my question still stands. Where do you sign off from being to becoming? And living in a society that manipulates the mind into destroying what it is.